Mundi's yard is finished. There's miles of fencing, 100 acres of pastures, trees, lots of wooded area, a pond, and a lake. You want to go for a tour? All right, here we go. So there's several different types of grasses that grow here. Indigenous grasses, including bamboo. Lots of trees, hardwood, pine, sweet gum. African elephants love sweet gum. And because the growing season is so long, there'll be fresh growing grass nearly year-round. This is the south boundary. So we've come to the perimeter fence and the elephant fence. And we're going to go through this bumpy part here where the feral pigs like to hang out. I'm sure Tara is going to love that. And here you see the familiar drive-through. That's where the UTV will go through in between the perimeter fence and the elephant fence to have access into the habitat. Yes, it's very bumpy. Fence crew has done an incredible job. This fencing is amazing. So these posts, they're 5 foot into the ground, 6 inches in diameter. They are solid wood. And then we have 3 strands of cable, taunt, half-inch galvanized cable, with an additional 2 lines of hot wire. That'll gain the elephant's respect. The good thing is, with so much space and such a varied terrain and variety of vegetation, the elephants will really have no desire to exit. And we do have feral pigs here. I guess it's an issue all over the South. I've never experienced them before. I think Tara is going to be in heaven because there'll be all these little pigs running around squealing, and no doubt she'll make a pet out of some of them. And then hopefully just the presence of the elephants will somewhat drive them away. They're fairly destructive to the earth. They dig it all up, and then what comes back is weeds. So here, this area that we're coming to now, it's the west. It is the west-south area, and there's a lake over here to the right, and this is a nice forested area, so pretty dense, which the elephants tend to like. So trees to push down, trees to scratch on, and of course this is the habitat for them. It's nice to have such a varied habitat so they can be where they want to be when they want to be, and of course trees are shelter for them as well as food and behavioral enrichment. And of course then right here coming out of the woods, then they also have all of this pasture and open area. So if it's cold out and they want to get some radiant effect of the sun, they can do that, or they want to graze. And then we'll keep going. Hang on. It is, and a great place for an elephant to get lost in. And the variety of trees is great for their diet. And in this area there's some young pine trees here, but basically we've got hardwoods and other trees. also the quarantine yard. There's probably 70 acres of pasture with trees, and then another 30 acres of just this dense wooded area and trees adjacent to the pond. Now we're going down towards the south line of the property, and actually our property borders Georgia and Florida. So our southern line is Florida. But over here, if you look really close, you're going to see Beaver Lake. It's a beautiful lake, and of course there are beavers in it, which is why we named it Beaver Lake. It also has a very small alligator. He's about 4 foot long. He's so small he doesn't even mess with the beavers. Oh yes, we'll deal with him when he gets bigger. We probably relocate him to a different place. But it's nice and quiet in here. And again, a lot of variety of terrain, vegetation. Just giving the elephants natural behavioral enrichment. Not burdening the caregivers or the keepers with the job of trying to find a way to keep elephants from getting bored. It's when you give them space that is interesting and diverse, that creates behavioral enrichment naturally. And natural is always better. So here we are, we're at the south side end of the property. Again, you'll see where the elephant fence and the perimeter fence meet up. And beyond that perimeter fence is Florida. So this property used to be for cattle. So they would reseed it like twice a year, which really, if you look at it, you know, from the perspective of the earth, it's quite disruptive to be tilled 2 times a year. So we're really looking forward to this earth becoming healthy again. So it really can produce some full and rich and healthy grasses. So just by leaving it alone and not disrupting it, we can end up with some pretty good grass. Right now it's nice. You know, this is semi-dormant right now. Semi. We have, you know, 80-degree days still. But there you see beyond the fencing, there was some clear cutting that was done recently on a neighbor's property. We were a bit concerned because it opened it up so much, but it won't take long for that vegetation to take over again and make a visual barrier. There's nothing over there anyway. Nobody lives over there. There are no roads over there. But of course, we really like a lot of privacy for the elephants, but that's turned out to be okay. And it does shift wildlife. So what was living there before has moved out, and new animals are going to move in. So we're really excited. Mundi's corral is done, ready for her to come. Now all we have to do is raise the funds to move her, build her barn, and bring her to Erna.